Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new Pokemon in the world of Pokemon Go, SHIINOTIC. SHIINOTIC is a grass and fairy type Pokemon with the moveset of Astonish, Seed Bomb, and Moonblast. SHIINOTIC evolves from Morlul, which can be encountered in the wild, or how I got it, from a remote raid invite. Now with Astonish as a fast move, SHIINOTIC is on an uphill battle when it comes to viability, but you know I still had to try it out in the Great League. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out SHIINOTIC in action in the Great League. Hopping into the first match, leading SHIINOTIC into Altaria. We do have the advantage in terms of typing, and the opponent is going to save switch into Toxicroak. I farm up some energy, and I bring in my Diggersby. Basically, off the first two Pokemon, I'm assuming that the third is going to be a Medicham. This is probably Caleb Peng's double fighter line. And if that's the case, I actually don't want switch advantage. What I want instead is going to be shield advantage. So I let them get my Diggersby incredibly low, and I fire off the Earthquake. Earthquake gets the shield. They're able to take switch, but honestly, that's fine by me. Because if my read on the line is correct, they are triple weak to SHIINOTIC, and SHIINOTIC should have a lot of play in the endgame. They fire off a Mud Bomb. I'm going to let that through. Go for the farm down, but they are able to reach another move. That is unfortunate. I'm going to save the final shield for SHIINOTIC. I'm expecting they're going to be bringing in the Altaria if it is the Medicham in the back, and they do bring in the Altaria, so odds are it is going to be the Medicham. I fire off the foul play. 2 foul plays will not KO, so I do need to go for the return here. Return will do massive damage. Firing up return. Return gets the shield. In comes SHIINOTIC, and Altaria will fire off the Sky Attack. I am going to commit the shield here and try and race them to a Moonblast. In the back, it is Medicham. Oh my goodness. I'm going to farm up as much as I dare and fire off the Moonblast. SHIINOTIC does hit very hard. That's going to KO. Now it's a race. SHIINOTIC versus Altaria. SHIINOTIC able to get to the Moonblast. Moonblast will be taking down Altaria. And that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading SHIINOTIC into another Altaria. Again, a matchup that looks great on paper, but unless SHIINOTIC can bait, Altaria does actually win all even shielding situations. Opponent save switches into Blastoise, and they're actually core broken by SHIINOTIC's typing, but the downside is that SHIINOTIC's fast move is just not good enough to capitalize on that advantage. As you can see, Astonish is just a very slow move in terms of energy generation, and on top of that, it also doesn't do a lot of damage. I fire off a second Seed Bomb, they let that through, comfortable with taking their shield advantage. Opponent is waiting their clock. Do they bring in Altaria? They do not. They bring in Nidoqueen. I pivot into Sableye, hoping they'll switch, and they do. Nidoqueen did bank quite a lot of energy though, so even though I do have a great counter for it in the back in Diggersby, things could get a little uncomfortable because they have an energy lead and they have shield advantage. I'm going to fire off another foul play. That's not going to KO, and they know it, so they're going to let that through. They're starting to get low, so they are going to fire off the Sky Attack here. I'm going to bring in SHIINOTIC. I should hopefully be able to take out the Altaria. I'm going to fire off the Seed Bomb just to ensure that I get rid of the Altaria, and then it's all up to Diggersby. Diggersby, down shields and down energy. Can it still take out Nidoqueen? 1 Earth Power does not KO from here, so I'm going to let it go. It is just a Poison Fang. I'm going to build up to the Earthquake and bait with the Fire Punch. They have an energy lead, so I feel like I need to bait. Fire Punch does get shielded. That is big. Even at -1, an Earth Power does not KO here. So I let this through. It's only another Poison Fang. That is big. I'm going to fire off another Fire Punch. Really hoping that I can grab this final shield, and I do. That's massive. Earth Power will KO here. I have a tough decision to make. I commit the shield. It's the bait. I go for the Earthquake, but I get outpaced. I had lost track of their energy. Earth Power takes out the Diggersby, and we lose a heartbreaking game. Hopping into the next match, leading SHIINOTIC into Alolan Ninetales. This is quite bad. I can't switch out of a Charmer lead because I have Sableye in the back. I'm going to try and build up to a Moonblast as that would do quite a lot of damage, but Astonish is just so slow. I get outpaced, I let it through, and the Weather Ball takes me out. So I've done basically no damage to their Ninetales, and my SHIINOTIC is already taken out. This is absolutely awful. I bring in Diggersby, go for a Fire Punch. They're going to fire off another Weather Ball. Wall. I do live this, but this is going to start to get me quite low. I fire off another Fire Punch. This will not KO, but it is going to get them deep into the red and should put it into Mudshot farm down range. Diggersby gets the farm down, and I leave with a Fire Punch. In comes Shadow Swampert. I build up to the Earthquake, and I'm baiting with a Fire Punch. I desperately need them to shield, and they do. I bring in my Sableye. They do have an energy lead, and they're going to start firing off moves. I will commit the shield. It's a Hydro Cannon, and I'm just going to keep farming up here. They try and go for CMP, but I go for the extra. I'm going to commit my final shield. They clearly don't want to see this Sableye, and they have their own Sableye in the back. I do have a massive energy lead on my Sableye. I go for the Foul Play. That does quite a lot of damage, and I'm going to fire off Foul Play number 2. This will come very close to taking them out. Foul Play gets the shield. Opponent is going to fire off a Foul Play of their own, but this is not enough to take me out. And suddenly, I see a win con. I bank a Foul Play, switch in Diggersby, and I go for the Fire Punch. But I need to let myself get as low as possible here. So I undercharge the Fire Punch, take 2 extra Shadow Claws of damage, so I'm in 1 Mudshot range, meaning the Swampert cannot get to the Hydro Cannon. Sableye takes down the Swampert as we win an incredibly close game. Hopping into the next match, leading SHIINOTIC into Empoleon. Definitely happy to catch the Empoleon here, so that way, my Diggersby is not going to have to face it in the endgame. I build up, go for the Seed Bomb, but I lose CMP. Drill Peck would hit for massive super effective damage, so I will commit the shield, and then return fire with the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb only hits for neutral, but Empoleon is going to commit the shield, and then they're going to bring in their Shadow Dragonite. Dragonite is going to fire off a move. I should resist Dragonite's standard moves, so I let it through. It's just a Dragon Claw. I'm going to farm up, and then go for the Moonblast. I'm really hoping they let this through. Come on. Moonblast gets shielded by the Dragonite, and that is quite bad. They have a lot of energy here, and they're about to punish me for over-farming as much as I did. Dragon Claw lands. I farm up, try to go for the Foul Play, but they're able to outpace me again. This is quite bad. Things going from bad to worse. I think my only play is to try and farm down, but the Dragon Breaths are too oppressive. I get taken out. I bring in Diggersby. It's Altaria in the back, and I concede the match. Hopping into the next match, leading SHIINOTIC into Noctowl. I am triple weak to Noctowl, so I just concede the match. Hopping into the next match, leading SHIINOTIC into Shadow Dragonite. This is genuinely a pretty nice matchup for SHIINOTIC, even with how terrible of a fast move Astonish is. Double resisting Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw put SHIINOTIC in a nice place here. They're going to fire off the Dragon Claw. That's not going to do a whole lot, and they're going to save switch into Lickitung. I build up to the Moonblast, but I'm just going to fire off a Seed Bomb here. I want to fire off the Seed Bomb, get a little bit of residual energy, and then I'm going to save switch into my Diggersby. Diggersby does have a very comfortable matchup against Lickitung, mainly due to the fact that I double resist their licks, so they're basically applying 0 fast move pressure while they do, even though Power Whip does hit me for super effective. I fire off the Earthquake, and I'm able to land it. Landing the big move is very important in this situation, because now I can just Mudshot it into Fire Punch range. They go for the Power Whip, that's totally fine. I'm going to farm up very close to the back-to-back, and go for the Fire Punch. This is very close to Fire Punch range. Lickitung commits the shield, and that proves to be costly as I'm able to reach another Fire Punch. Fire Punch gets the second shield. Lickitung trying to lick down a Diggersby, but that will never work. Diggersby hangs on, reaches a third Fire Punch, winning me switch advantage and a 2-0 shield advantage. They have Registeel in the back. I bring in Sableye. They make a catch onto Dragonite, but that is perfectly fine with me. Foul Play is able to land. That puts it into farm down range, and this game is over. Registeel does have energy. They're going to fire off a move. They go for the Zap Cannon. I commit the shield. They do not get the defense drop, and this game is so over. Foul Play doesn't land as they concede the match. Hopping into the next match, leading SHIINOTIC into Azumarill. Pretty nice matchup on paper. Let's see how this plays out. We are a grass type, they are a water type, so surely this must be a winning lead for us. We're going to stay in here and fire off the Seed Bomb, and I'm very happy that they're staying in as well. Seed Bomb lands, hits for super effective damage. Ice Beam would hit for super effective in return, but they don't even have it. They have Play Rough. That's huge. I'm going to farm up, fire off the Seed Bomb on the CMP tie, and you can probably see where this is going. And that's that despite being a grass type facing a water type, SHIINOTIC loses the zeros to a Play Rough Hydro Pump Azumarill. That is absolutely terrible. I bring in Sableye. They mirror, so I'm going to bring in Diggersby. Diggersby does have an absolutely dominant matchup here. They go for the foul play. I'm not worried about that damage whatsoever, and I'm going to return fire with the Earthquake. This will hurt if it lands. Opponent is going to commit the shield, so whatever they have in back doesn't seem like they really want to go up against the Diggersby. I'm going to let this through. I tank whatever they throw. They go for another foul play. I'm able to absorb that damage and fire off a second Earthquake. Are they willing to give up the final shield? Yes, they are. They are incredibly weak to it. Oh my goodness. I keep farming. I go for the Earthquake. Opponent, my guess is they were trying to catch, but they're not able to get the catch off. They lose so much energy. In the back, they have Skarmory. And if this game wasn't over, it definitely is now. I have a 2-0 shield advantage. I go for the foul play. They're going to fire off a move. At this point, their only win con is a Hail Mary Brave Bird. They do go for it. They're going to bring in Azumarill, but Azumarill cannot reach a move. Sableye fully farms down, leaves with 100 energy. Foul play will be taken down the Skarmory, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading SHIINOTIC into Shadow Abomasnow, an absolutely awful lead. I'm going to save switch into Sableye. Abomasnow is going to stay in and fire off a Weather Ball. I'm going to let this through. This will do quite a lot of damage. Weather Ball lands, and they're going to respond with Dedenne. At the very least, I can force a shield here. Dedenne is very glassy, so a return would definitely hurt, so I am able to grab a shield advantage, which is quite nice. They're going to overfarm, fire off their cheaper move, which is Discharge, to take me out. And I think at this point, my only win con in this game is to bring in Diggersby, massively overfarm, leave with some Fire Punches stored, and then hope that based on their team composition, they're forced to bring the Abomasnow into the Diggersby. I will shield up their first player off just to try and preserve some HP. I'm going to go for a Fire Punch. This is not going to be enough to KO, but I want to try and get them into a range where I can Mudshot farm down. They're able to reach a player off. I will let this through, and I'm just going to go for the farm down, leave with a bunch of energy, and hope. Do they bring in the Abomasnow? They do not. They have a Swampert in the back, and this is basically game over. Earthquake just does not do a lot of damage. I'm going to try and go for a catch. Opponent holds onto their energy, brings in Abomasnow, and I concede the match. Hopping into the final match, leading SHIINOTIC into Galarian Stunfisk. I'm going to stay in this lead to start and just farm up a lot of energy. My goal is to basically use SHIINOTIC as a damage sponge, force them to fire off some Rock Slides, bank the energy for later, and then save switch into my Sableye. They are going to fire off the back-to-back Rock Slides. That works out great for me. I'm going to let this through, save the energy, and then bring in Sableye. It looks like they don't have a great response to a Sableye switch-in, so I'm just going to fire off the Foul Play. Foul Play is able to land, deal some nice damage, and they're going to fire off a move. EQ would hurt. I commit the shield. It is an Earthquake, and they have a Fairy Wind Jumpluff in the back. That is quite scary. Fairy Wind does hit for super effective damage, and the neutral Acrobatics will hit like a truck. Acrobatics gets me quite low. I'm going to be baiting here with a Foul Play. Foul Play gets the shield. I'm going to try and make it to the return. I get there, but I click on the wrong move. A massive mistake. I really hope they shield this, but they let it through. An absolutely killer mistake. I bring in SHIINOTIC. I'm going to fire off the Moonblast. Moonblast gets no shielded. We'll have to see what they have in the back. We know about the G-Fisk. Opponent's final Pokemon is a Trevenant, and this is winnable. The opponent, now that the Jumpluff is out of the way, is core broken by Diggersby. I'm going to fire off a Fire Punch. That's going to do a lot of damage to the Trevenant. Trevenant can fire off Double Seed Bomb, but the nice thing about XL Diggersby is that I tank Double Seed Bomb, and I don't have to worry about shielding either one. So they're going to fire off a lot of moves here. They go for the first Seed Bomb. As you can see, that doesn't even do half, so I don't have to worry about shielding the next one. The only thing I have to watch for is a potential catch. They do go for the catch onto Stunfisk. I'm able to reach the back-to-back Fire Punches. First one is going to almost take out the Stunfisk. I take it out with SHIINOTIC, and that is a good game. And now some final thoughts on SHIINOTIC. Typing-wise, it has the potential to be a good core breaker, but it's let down by how terrible its fast moves are. And unfortunately, in the main series, SHIINOTIC doesn't learn anything that would translate to be a viable fast move in Go. So unfortunately, for the time being, unless the main series game adds a better fast move for SHIINOTIC, SHIINOTIC is definitely more of a what if than a Pokemon you should invest in. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.